Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am your host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your breakfast bankroll for Thursday, February 24th, 2022. Thoughts and prayers go out to the people in Ukraine. Kind of crazy what's going on out there. I was watching it a little last night and cringing. Pray for those people. This morning, we are blessed. It is generally at 2 o'clock Eastern that we take our first trip of two to the Windy City. I like to call it the Windy City Review for the mid-major king himself, Mr. Colton Sroka. We are blessed and honored to have him bright and early at 10 a.m., 9 his time, as I have a prior engagement at 1:30 and told him I'd owe him big time, and he is blessing us with his presence. So without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the one, the only, Mr. Colton Sroka.
Good morning, Mr. Dawson.
How are you?
Hey, I am spectacular. The Cape Cod connection, as always. It's great to see you. You'll have to excuse me. See me early this morning. Not as much energy, not as much as I usually bring. I do truly apologize. Are you kidding me? You thought I was showing up to this show and not bringing every piece of energy that I got. You thought I was coming to the breakfast bankroll and you guys weren't gonna wake up. Come on, baby, it's showtime. You know I'm here, the Mid-Major King, live in prime time. You will have to excuse me, though. I'm a bit of a pothead around this time of the day, so pardon me. I'm going to be taking a few sips, getting rocking, getting grooving. Jeff, it's a beautiful day to be alive in the Windy City. The rest is up to me, and I'm choosing to spread positivity. I don't know about you. Got a few college basketball plays. You know me, mid-major king. I'm getting real mid-major with one of them, a little higher mid-major with the other one. We got the board bender parlay for you guys we can dish out. We got a pretty nice slate. We can go through that. Plenty of leans that I had, so we can definitely talk about that too. And then obviously any other rabbit hole you want to open up, I am always down to dive in, my friend. I got my rabbit hole diving shorts on this morning, so cheers to me, cheers to you. Let's have a hell of a day, my friend.
You know, I'm going to regress for a quick second. What is going on in college hoops is just fascinating. I was a part of what I thought was one of the game of the years on Tuesday night, as UConn finds a way down 4. Okay, so I have to correct some people, and I corrected someone yesterday. Of course, they don't come running and not apologize, just say, nope, you're right. They were talking about how lucky UConn was, and then they were talking about how the refs stole the game. And I had to say this. With 26 seconds, UConn was down 4, and Villanova was at the line shooting 1-1. Okay? Mm-hmm. You make one, you're up 5. You make them both, you're up 6.
Mm-hmm.
You clanked it.
Mm-hmm.
And then UConn hits a 3, and then they call a timeout. And then supposedly the greatest guard since sliced bread, who he is amazing, by the way, Gillespie, dribbles into a double team. And so we get the jump ball. We get a basket with 5.9. Then they inbound it to Gillespie after a timeout, their final timeout. And he's a bull in a china shop, and he just runs 80 miles an hour, and he gets the charge. So I thought that was just an amazing game. And, of course, UConn just fires up the second free throw, so it lands on 2, and the actual closing line was 2.5. But then I watched the triple overtime game last night in Providence and Xavier, a line that Providence opened at 1.5, closed at 1. I told the world this. It's an Xavier number. I didn't play it, but I told the world, Providence is going to lose one of the next 2 games, guaranteed. They're going to lose last night to Xavier or Saturday against Creighton, because then they're going to go Tuesday night to Nova, and Ken Palm's got Nova, 10-point favorites. The winner is the Big East champ. Well, 3 OTs later, 16-minute delay because the roof's leaking. Providence does what they've done all year and found a way to win. And what's even more amazing is Saturday, they're going to face a Creighton team without one of their best, if not their best player, Nembhard. So if Providence wins Saturday, it doesn't matter what they do in Nova. They wrap up their first Big East regular season conference title.
I've said it on this show, my friend. You don't bet against Ed Cooley right now, living the American dream. The Friars are hot. If you follow me on Twitter, you see my handle down there. I tweeted it out last night. The thread lives on. The string keeps moving. Ed Cooley and his suits just keep building on my Twitter page since December the 29th, I think it was. I absolutely love them. I love the Friars, man. 3 overtimes. I mean, and you tell me you don't like college basketball. I mean, what are we doing out here, kids? Like, what do people who don't watch college basketball do with their lives, Jeff? I have no idea, my friends, because I watch every single bit of it, and I absolutely love what's happening in the Big East. And speaking of Big East and where I wanted to take it was the Blue Jays. You mentioned the Creighton Blue Jays, man. And they are I haven't come up with a good name for them yet. I've come up with a good name for the San Diego State Aztecs, the Tournament Techs. I know it kind of rolls right off the tongue. I got nothing for the Blue Jays yet. The conference tournament Creighton Blue Jays don't sound very well. It doesn't really roll off the tongue. So I'm working on something. Bear with me. However, they show up this time of the year. I don't know what it is. They can struggle, scuffle, squabble, everything all year long, and they get into the last 8 games, conference tournament, March Madness, they turn up, and that's what we're seeing right now. And I hate to say it, I think you're right. Providence, I think they do lose on Saturday to Creighton. Creighton handling what was it, Seton Hall? No, who did they just beat yesterday?
Johnny's.
Oh, that's right. St. John's +5. They took care of it as dogs as well. So they've been playing great, man, and I think they're picking up steam just in time. You know me. I'm a big homer for the Big East. So obviously you being over there and having all the ins and being at the Excel or Campbell or wherever it is, I absolutely love it. Speaking of, hold on. How electrifying was it to see old Danny Hurley getting the old finger out of the old hardwood there? How electric was that, number one? And number two, I need to know your opinion because I got Mag's opinion on this as well. I said, hey, what is it with these refs, man? Like, it seemed like that ref spent his whole life waiting for a moment to walk over to that table, toss Dan Hurley, and peacock back across the floor and say, go ahead. Who wants to say something else? Who wants to say something else? I'll send you to locker room too. The refs have no control. They have no governance, and it's ridiculous. Anybody would have said anything, they'd get tossed, but nobody's going to say anything to that ref for peacocking back across the hardwood. So how was that ejection, and do you agree with me on point number 2?
I'll take it a step further. Saturday at Gamble, James Bouknight, now playing in the NBA, was
one of my favorite players last year.
Was courtside, and I guess he started, I don't want to say jarring, going back and forth, maybe a little wise guy, little stuff he had. He had the college uniform on, he had the hoodie, he had the vest. Okay, just minding his own business on his cell phone. And the way I understand it is he kind of got up onto the court and the ref just pointed to him and tossed him. Okay? This was Saturday at Gamble. And he's like, whoa, wait a minute. And his girlfriend or whatever is next to him, and I swear, James, do you know who I am? And the guy says, you out, points to the security, and he got tossed, and he didn't leave the building. He just went up to the student section. So that was fine. So that's number one. So I'm at the game Tuesday. I'm center court, but I'm a tier up. And so Curly, UConn comes out guns a-blazing. They get a nice lead. Then there was a reach into something. So Hurley, being Hurley, just goes ballistic, and he gets teed up. So now Gillespie's at the line. So Dan turns as Gillespie's at the line to the stands, and he just gives him one of these. So we get up, and we start to chant, and the ref comes running over, you gone. And we're like all in shock. We're like, what's going on? So the way I understand it is these two have a past history. Oh. And so I did not know that. I don't know all the details. But that said, it was like the biggest kick in the you-know-what. It was like, it's almost like the same thing in baseball where these umpires have to be the show. They have to be in the show. They have to make a statement. This ref, like you said, he was walking around like he owned the place. And there was just, listen, in a game with that much magnitude, there was no spot for this.
Hmm.
And it was like, oh my God, you check the box with Jay Wright anyways over Hurley. Hurley's never beaten him. Now we got an assistant versus Jay Wright. And I have to tell you this. I've watched 40 plus years of basketball. I coached Division III women's basketball for 3 seasons. Uh, I've never seen a team more unified, more cogs. Everyone knows their role. Their offense reminded me of Hoosiers. In other words, I've never seen everyone in the right spot. Their guards posting up down low, either drawing the foul, scoring the basket, or passing it to someone and hitting an open three.
Hmm.
They bring their own towel boys to help the other opposing team wipe the floor because I think their 2 injuries I think might have been due to dampness. I would have hated to see them last night in the Providence game, but this team gets up together. They move together. They remind me of the UCLA national championship team with the O'Bannon brothers and Tyus Edney. They're not as athletic, and they don't run their offense like Princeton. But I've never seen anything in my whole life more methodical. It was poetry in motion.
Absolutely. I love that. I absolutely love that. And I want to kind of take it back just real quick, something you kind of mentioned. And as far as just the various sports and kind of a track that I've been thinking about, and it's really where is the line? And like obviously, okay, there's the past history and stuff like that. So obviously you're going to have that conversation in and of itself. That's one rabbit hole. But just as to paint a broad stroke of, I don't know. I'm cut from a different cloth. I think society is a little bubble wrapped, whatever. We won't go down that rabbit hole either way. But what I'm saying is, okay, you look at not to go back in the past, but the Juwan Howard situation, the Wisconsin and Michigan situation, that whole deal. I think it's nonsense. Whatever. Who cares? Let the boys be boys. The boys are in the heat of the moment. It's one of the last 3, 4, 5 conference games. Let the boys be boys. Either way. So that's my opinion on it. It is what it is. So you have all these chippy little fouls and a coach like Hurley going over to the crowd and amping up the crowd, so you can't pump up a crowd anymore. You have a manager coming out and arguing a strike call like that's been in the game forever, and he gets tossed after saying one thing. And then shout out our guy McGinnis Picks, Andrew McGinnis over at the NHL. You got guys throwing absolute bombs at each other's heads. We're scuffling every single night on the damn ice. We show up to a fight and a damn hockey game broke out, and it's normal. It's cool. It's no big thing. But every other sport, oh my gosh, we got to watch out. There's so many eyes. I don't get it. I just don't understand. You kind of said it like it should be more about the entertainment. And I said it yesterday on our show. I said, it just takes a little bit of self-awareness from these refs. It just takes not knowing who you are, knowing your role, knowing that you are there to officiate, and the whole point of officiating is to make sure nothing bad happens, not to insert yourself into the game and ensure that something happens one way or another. It makes no sense to me. And let the boys be boys. I personally was a shit talker on the field. It got me in a lot of trouble when we played a lot of conference opponents. They didn't like me. They would have fan clubs all around. They'd be chanting me down. That was okay. It was something I was with. It's kind of my personality. I like it. I take the flaming arrows. I crack them over my knee. It is what it is. So let the boys be boys. Maybe I'm different. I don't know. I say again, where is the line? Where is the line, and how do you have it like one side on hockey, and then, oh my gosh, it's a national tragedy if something happens on the college basketball hardwood. So call me crazy, my friend. I don't know. There's another rabbit hole for your Thursday morning here.
We're definitely going to get to the games. I have my producer wink, wink in my ear. I'm going to make sure that I get you to your next show on time. But I have to ask you this before we get to today's games. We talk about mid-majors. We talk about Cinderellas. There always seems to be at least one of those. I look at the makeup this year. I have ECSI, I think, positioned pretty well in our futures. Um, I don't have shares of Villanova. Someone brought up a great thing. Hey, go bet the three cats this year, and I thought that was pretty good. He said Nova, Arizona, and Kentucky. I mean, that Kentucky team is just rolling right now. Calipari's got the kids playing, but I thought that
Mm,
was pretty good. Um,
I like that.
but I have to, since you're the mid-major king, I'm going to bring up a team right now that is just steamrolling, and I've gotten in front of them a couple times. If you had to pick one to make the Sweet 16, the elite run, like Chicago of Illinois a few years ago, uh, um, I,
Shout
I
out
mean,
Sister Jean. Shout out Sister
Sister
Jean.
G, I love that woman. OMG. Uh, the obvious to me is Davidson. Uh, Now, with that said, can you bring up any others? I mean, I know Missouri State. I know the Drake last year, the
Mm.
Bonnies last year. What is Colton seeing behind the scenes? What is Colton seeing with about 10 days left of the regular season? What is Colton seeing maybe for potential, conference champions to sneak into the dance if you had to tell the listeners and viewers right now?
Man, oh man, you are putting me on the spot, and I tell you, I've really been starting to play with some ideas of where my head's going to start to go here. And I'll start with where you said it in Davidson, and I think you're right. I think Davidson makes a solid tournament run. I don't know if we're talking Sweet 16. I think we can definitely see round of 32 from a team like that. They have a very solid squad. They have the height. It's when it comes down to March Madness, man, is when you see some of these Cinderella teams actually making the run. Is it comes down to height. It is so doggone important. And you say, well, what do you mean by that? If you just go to Ken Palm and you look at his height rating, that's a combination of a lot of factors, but whatever the case might be, or if you just look across the board on ESPN, go to something easy. If you don't have Ken Palm, go to something easy. But you look at some of these mid-major teams, and they're going to have an average height of like 6'4", and their center might be 6'7", and then you look at an SEC team that they might potentially have to play in the round of 62 or the round of 64, 62, whatever it is. I don't know, something like that. I'm not good at math. Either way, you're gonna look at a team like that, and then all of a sudden they're gonna play an SEC team that's got an average height of like 6'7", 6'8", and their center's 7'1", 7'2", and it's like, shit, they're just not going to be able to keep up. They might have the scoring prowess, they might have the defensive prowess, but when you see that difference, that's one thing. So I guess the perspective I'm going to take this kind of from is not necessarily what teams I'm looking at, but what you guys should be looking at as you're going to kind of start to make your conference selections and stuff like that as well. So that's one thing for sure, especially as we move into March here. I mean, you'll obviously see me a few more times before we get into March, but as we move into the conference tournaments, one of these things, actually, two plays I'll give you today, I'll be talking about it, but you really want to look some of these teams, especially right now, that are in the middle of the pack. Let's say for instance, I'll talk about it with Temple and Memphis today. Very, very similar straight up conference records in the American right now. And with that being said, I think Temple can shake some stuff up. There's teams that are right on the bubble. They're getting kind of undervalued. I don't not obviously not Temple making it to there, but as far as conference tournaments talking like that, these last few games there are some really really tight teams. And if you're seeing teams playing, you're like, wow, why is that spread so doggone high? Look a little bit deeper. Look into what they have been doing conference wise. Where are they at right now? Are they on a hot streak right now in against conference opponents? Because that's all we got left, boys. We only got 3-4 games left, and if they're rolling against conference opponents, take note of that. Say, hey, I think they're going to keep moving. I think they're trying to make a push here for the conference tournament. But hey, at the end of the day, it's not an end all be all, obviously, to look at that too. So those are two major things that I really look at, and then kind of else off the top of the dome. I mean, it just kind of really where teams are playing. Just really, I guess the best thing I can say is just to get involved this time of the year. Like, you have to watch, you have to have the eye test, you got to be able to see, and it's so important. Like, especially right now, a lot of these teams that are on the bubble, the mid-major teams, are playing on these Super Tuesdays, these Wednesdays, these Thursdays with huge slates, and nobody's paying attention to them, but your boy is. So hopefully sooner rather than later, maybe next week, I'll be able to give you some conference tournament winners and everything all in between, because this was just about the time I was going to start diving into everything, my friend.
Last question before we go to the games.
Yes, sir.
Does my Dons from San Fran tonight
Mm,
catch 10 have a
mm.
chance? the Zags?
Well, yes. You know the Gonzaga Bulldogs are a mid-major team, so thank you for asking that. Yes, absolutely. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are a mid-major team. Take them out of a mid-major conference. Okay, hold on, soapbox for a minute, real quick. Please take the Bulldogs out of a mid-major conference. They don't belong there. Put them in the ACC. For fuck's sakes, put them in the A10. Put them in the A10. I mean, put them anywhere but where they're at right now. They're a mid-major program, but I digress. Okay, now, do the Dons have a shot? I think so. I glossed over it. I didn't gloss over it. I looked at it pretty doggone hard because Gonzaga's been overvalued a couple times in this, especially with this being at San Francisco. I think it's a few too many points. I would say maybe finishes 7 or 8 with what I'm seeing right now. And especially, Gonzaga's always going to be the public side. And with it not really moving at all right now and it kind of sticking at that key number of 10, I see the public coming out and looking, ooh, key number 10. I got to get this locked in before it gets over that key number. Oh, my gosh. And I'm not buying it. I think I like the home dog. I think I'm with you and the Dons tonight, my man.
And they were 30 or 33-point favorites at Pacific the other night. And I'll close with this. I'll make it even easier for the Zags and the rest of the world. Just throw them in the Pac-12. Throw them in there.
Yeah,
against
100%.
UCLA, Arizona, Oregon.
100%.
That would be the easiest thing. Make it done. Get it done.
They could do it very easily. They just like running the table and guaranteed having a tournament bid, but I digress.
All right, my brother. I'm going to bring up our screen over here. You can take her away. The board and the floor and the stage is yours.
Okie dokie, artichoke. Let me flip you guys over here. Let me move one of these numbers over yonder. All right. First one up, we're going to go to rotation number 759 and 760. I'm getting real mid-major with you here, my friend. I mean real mid-major. We're going Cleveland State Vikings against the Detroit Mercy Titans. We're calling this one the Horizon Heater. We're heating things up, my friends. Get in on it before the line moves. We're taking the Titans plus 1.5 is what I caught it at. Let me blow up the screen here so I can see this a little bit better. Uno segundo. All right, let's see where we're at here. Yeah, holding pretty firm, around 1.5 right across the market. I like the kind of the public side it's looking like so far this morning on the Vikings. It honestly jumped out to me as being a public setup. Cleveland State is the perceived better team is what I'm trying to say to you there, my friends. And it really feels like a huge public setup to me. We have a great opportunity to back the Detroit Mercy Titans while they are still getting some solid value right before we get into conference tournament time because I think they're going to start to only improve, and it only starts today, and people are going to start waking up and really starting to want to hammer them in. But we get good value on them today. Back them with confidence because they're 12-13 straight up, but 14-9-1 against the number overall this season, and even further on, 7-0 straight up, 6-0 ATS on their home hardwood. So they have been damn good home team. That's what really got me to side over with them and see them as an undervalued home dog here, getting the 1.5 points. They have one of the most electric guards in all of the Horizon League. If you didn't know about him, Antoine Davis. He averages 23.5 a game, 3.5 boards, and 4.6 assists. That is all this year. And that's not even the best part, my friends. These old Titans, since you might not know about them, they started their year with 9 straight road games. Can you say the schedule makers slapped them in the face? And then 3 straight home games. They won and covered all 3. Then they went on the road for 4 straight games again, came back for 2 home games, went on the road for 5 road games again, and now we find ourselves here. Their most recent 2 games where they are finding themselves both at home. A 60-52 win against Northern Kentucky and an 80-75 win against Wright State. That Wright State game is very important. Stick a pin in that, we'll come back. But what I'm trying to tell you is that the schedule makers really murdered the Titans this year, and they're finally getting the opportunity to rebound. Now, Cleveland State, 19-7 straight up, 12-12 against the number overall this season, so inconsistent at best against that number. 5-4 straight up, 6-3 against the number on the road. They've been some weird spots where they've been dogs and they've been able to cover and stuff. I'm simply not buying this today, and I really think the stars are lining up in a lot of areas here. And kind of speaking of that, Another spot here that I absolutely love is that this is a Horizon League game, and I already talked about that. But this being in conference play, Cleveland State 15-4 straight up in conference. They're first overall, and they're only a 1.5 point favorite going up against Detroit Mercy. That's 9-6 straight up, 7th in the Horizon League. I just mentioned it not even too long ago. These 5th, 6th, 7th place teams that are kind of out of it for the regular season title, but plenty in the hunt for the conference tournament in a couple of weeks. This is Detroit Mercy, 7th place, 9-6 straight up in the horizon. They can really shake some shit up here today, and they are only right behind Youngstown State, Oakland, and Wright State. They just got that win against Wright State, and man, oh man, I think they are going to absolutely destroy it. Now, last but not least, let's take the pin out of Wright State. I just mentioned them again. This is a get your lick back game for Detroit Mercy here today. They just got their lick back. When I say that, they got a win back, if you're not familiar with that saying. So what them kids say around there. They just avenged, they beat Wright State, right, in the last game. They just avenged a 59-90 loss against them in the first matchup, and they came back and won 80-75 in their last game, right? So they played Cleveland State already this year. They lost 72-70, but covered a 6.5 point spread. Now it's down to a pick'em with the game being in Detroit. This is Detroit's 3rd straight home game and also Cleveland State's 4th straight road game. So I think all of those factors just lead into, again, all of the stars lining up on this play and Detroit Mercy being extremely undervalued. But you don't believe me, my friends, believe the trends. Cleveland State 2-5 ATS last 5 following an ATS win. 13-6-1 ATS last 20 following an ATS win for the Detroit Mercy Titans. 3-1-1 ATS for that same Titans team. Their last 5 versus a team with a straight up winning percentage above 600. And Detroit is 10-1 against the number of their last 11 home games. I absolutely love Detroit Mercy plus 1.5. First best bet of the day.
100%. That was the first game that caught my eyes. I've, believe it or not, been a Detroit fan for years, and I've caught them in some great spots. They're usually always a dog. They've had a run here and there, but Cleveland State, kind of the public darling, as you said. I am 100% on Detroit tonight.
I love that, my friend. And pretty much exactly what you just said is why this originally jumped off the screen at me. So public darling for sure. Maybe a little bit of a public darling on the opposite side that I'm fading once again here. Maybe not call it a fade. I don't know. Second best bet of the day. We're going to rotation number 781, 782. The Temple Owls and the Memphis Tigers, my friends. We're calling this one the American Annihilator. And I think we're looking at an Owls team that's got a real opportunity to shake some stuff up, much like the Titans I just talked about. So you better believe it. I think they win it outright, but we'll gladly take all the points the books are willing to give us. Temple Owls plus 11 is my second best bet of the day. This is a complete overvaluation of the home favorite Memphis Tigers because they might be 15-9 straight up, but they are 10-13-1 against the number overall this season. 10-2 straight up on their home hardwood, but 6-5-1 against the number at home. I'm not buying this number. They are way overvalued. They're coming off of a 57-73 loss against SMU in their last game. You would think, oh, this is a huge rebound spot for them. That's just kind of a scuffle. No, sir. This is their 3rd straight road game. Actually, 4th straight road game. No, I apologize. It's a 3rd straight road game. They're actually coming home. And me and you, Mr. Dawson, have talked about this spot a lot. With the team playing 3-4 straight games on the road, and now they finally have this opportunity to come back home. Oh, the world is saved. They're going to stop losing. It's a big rebound spot. And really that first game, when they come back home, just seems that they scuffle. And I don't understand. I don't know why. It just seems to be the way things work out for these kids in college basketball. So that is a huge spot for me. I love to fade home favorites in that spot, especially coming off of multiple road games. The Tigers are 9-5 straight up in conference play. That is good for 3rd. Stick a pin in that. We'll come back to conference play real quick. Now, Temple. They're also 15-9 straight up, but they're 15-9 against the number. Bet you didn't know that. 5-4 straight up, 6-3 against the number on the road. They're playing the best ball of their season right now. 2 games ago, they just beat SMU. I never like to talk apples to apples, but this was an impressive win, especially with Memphis just losing to them. They beat them 64-57 as 3-point dogs. In their last game, they handled the Cincinnati Bearcats with ease. 75-71 in what was a box score game, all the way kind of Cincinnati squeaked back in at the end, but they won that game outright as 7.5 point dogs. Take the pin out because the Temple Owls are 8-5 straight up in conference play, and man, I really think if they got a win, things could get awfully interesting here today, my friends. But I will again take all the points the books are willing to give me, and I'm looking for one key thing to be the deciding factor here today. Here's what you're going to see. I love the Owls to boat race the old Tigers here today. The Owls are, or I'm sorry, the other way around. Memphis likes to boat race teams. And I think the Owls are going to have them all off of their game. Memphis is 25th in adjusted tempo per KenPom, where Temple is 252nd. So I think they're really going to slow down both sides of the ball, work the clock offensively, really work Memphis on the defensive side of the ball as well. The Temple Owls defense has really been showing up over the course of the last few weeks. I don't know why. I don't know where it's come from, but they've been damn good here recently. So I think that tempo is going to be a really key deciding factor. I don't think Memphis is going to be able to get out and stretch their legs like you're typically used to seeing, and I think the Owls have no problem covering this plus 11. I would only take it down to plus 10 just in case of any funny business if this is actually a true line, but again, Temple Owls plus 11. However, if you don't believe me, believe the trends. Temple 7-2 ATS last 9 overall, 5-2 ATS last 7 on the road, 5-1 ATS last 6 as a road dog, 9-1 ATS their last 10 road games versus a team with a straight up home winning percentage greater than 600. Temple is also 20-7 against the number of their last 27 Thursday games. I apologize. 7-2 ATS last 9 versus an AAC opponent. 8-3 against the number the last 11 meetings with this old Memphis team. I am all about Temple. Way too many doggone points again. Don't play it under 10, but second and final best bet. Appreciate you letting me have the floor, Mr. Dawson. Temple Owls plus 11.
My dad always used to say, if you can't hoot with the Owls and soar with the Eagles, get your ass to bed, will you?
Let's go. I absolutely love it. Get your ass to bed. I absolutely love it.
All right, number 3.
That's it. I only got the
you had
two.
two. Okay.
I got those, but I also got the board bender parlay, so I can I'll be dishing that out on our show, but I can give that out to you guys here quick, fast, live in prime time as well. Care to have it?
The two best plays, Detroit plus 1 and a hook versus Cleveland State, and the Temple Owls. Actually, the number's up to 12, by the way.
Oh, really?
Versus Memphis, and I would probably say with a plus 12 number, you're probably getting about plus 350 or 60 at least on the money line. Always sprinkle a little beer and pizza money on that. And if it does come in, make sure you reach out and tip your dealer, Mr. Colton Sroka, please.
Appreciate you. And yeah, I would say because of that line movement, just to put a cap on that for you, it does look like it's up to 12 and a half across the market. Looks like market consensus is about 12. Looks like right now, market consensus, only about 25% of bets coming in on the Tigers, but 99% actual money wagered on that. That is less of a sharp look to me and more of a case of, you know how I like to say it, severe monetary liability. Don't buy into that being a sharp side. Obviously, the books are going to move that line. Don't buy that steam. Don't buy that line movement. Take every point the books are willing to give you with the Owls. We're hooting all night long.
All right. Your parlay for the night.
Okay, we should call it the mid-major board bender parlay because it's pretty much damn near that thing. But we also are adding the hometown boys too. So I'm just going to rip them off for you. 4 legs on this bad boy. It's paying out over 12-1 odds. Couldn't believe it when we put it together. I said, how the hell did that get out to 12-1 for 4 legs? Holy shit, this is juicy. I love it too much. Okay, leg number 1. We're taking the Charleston Cougars plus 4.5 against the Delaware Fighting Blue Hens. Leg number 2. We're taking the Quinnipiac Bobcats minus 2.5 against the Siena Saints. Leg number 3, we're taking the Youngstown State Penguins plus 6.5 in their matchup with the Wright State Raiders. And last but not least, leg number 4, we're seeing red, baby. We're taking the Chicago Bulls minus 4. Parlaying all 4 of those up together. How about that? 4 for your 4 for the 4th day of the week, Thursday, baby. Plus 1,266 odds the last time I checked. You know what? I haven't brought one of these to the damn show, and we ain't got it to a pay window in a while. I apologize. I'm tired of that. You know what? I'm hearing bookies cry as that just came out of my mouth. I'm hearing lines move, shift, and groove all across the market. So, my friends, I suggest you get over to your local book. I suggest you hammer the hell out of that, the last 2 that I gave you, and we bankrupt every book on the marketplace. I'm wearing black for a reason. It's to mourn the death of every sports book out there. We are going to do it today. You know the drill, people. We're cashing tickets. No negativity, no toxicity, none of that losing mentality. Winners, winners, winners.
I can't thank you enough. I'm excited for tonight. I'm excited as we get closer to conference tournament and we get obviously closer to the madness. Blessed and honored in a few weeks to have you and Riley uh, in Vegas. We will be tearing up the town and crushing the books. I already heard Derek Stevens getting a little nervous because the boys are in town. South Point, the same. Westgate, the same. Even hearing a little whimpers from the Bellagio. So look out. The boys from the Windy City and back east are coming in. Uh, uh, Lunch with Bernie Frado. I can't wait for that. A little Mr.
My
Luck.
man Bernie.
Yes, a little Dave Sharapan. Maybe we'll get the circuit tour with him, but we got so much to talk about. Of course, our friend Andrew McGinnis, we'll be catching up with him at Westgate on Saturday. So much, so much. But listen, tell the world where they can find you and Riley, all your platforms, all your podcasts, everywhere. If you guys are not following these guys, let's do it.
What the fuck are you doing? I don't know what you're doing if you're not, but hey, you see it. Perfect time is scrolling right below me. Follow me at Colt TTL Sports. Full disclaimer. You like negativity. You like toxicity. You like the bullshit. Don't come around my page. Don't hit the follow button. It's nothing but positivity. It's nothing but nonsense. It's nothing but good vibes. That's all I will ever do. And if you put any of that nonsense on my page, you will be blocked. You will be unfollowed. You will be so far into the ether that I will not even remember you existed. So nothing but positivity. That's number one. Again, scrolling right by, Talking the Line, Sports Media at Talking the Line. That is me and my partner, Riley Magnuson, the legendary R Mags to Riches at R Mags TTL Sports. You can follow him too. That is our kind of our brand that we put out all of our content from. We have our three shows. We got a daily show that I'll hop on here at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, Talking the Line podcast. We go through the daily boards, and then we also have some nonsense. We like to keep it super light. We have our Mag Sidebar. We have a bunch of back and forth banter. We go through some other breaking news. We have some laughs, and we dive into more rabbit holes than I promise you will be able to keep track of, along with cashing some tickets. We also got Wise Words every Wednesday. That drops at 12 p.m. Central Time on our YouTube, and then on podcast directories right after that. And then every Saturday, we got Cup of Joe on campus, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And speaking of, we got a little maybe Cup of Joe in madness in the works. Who knows what we might have going on there. You mentioned Vegas. We have a show going on Saturdays. I don't know. Something, little birdie told me something along those lines. Who am I? What do I know in regards to those things? Stay tuned. Make sure you follow us. At the bare minimum, if you don't have any of the Bird app, the Twitter, anything like that, you got Facebook. We're on Facebook as well, Talking Line Sports Media. Talking Line Sports Media on YouTube. Or if you just want a central hub so you don't have to go scrolling all over the interweb trying to find where the hell we're at, just go to talkingtheline.com. Makes it super easy. We got an individual dedicated tab for each and every single one of our podcasts, for our best bets, our blogs. That's right, I write too. That's right, I write. Man, the English language is really hard sometimes. I tell you what, stop by there. You'll see everything all encompassing. My friend, the Cape Cod Connection, I cannot thank you enough, Mr. Dawson, for giving me a platform to share my nonsense with as well, in addition to what I do, having me on every week and trying to shed a little light in this dark world we see sometimes. So, speaking of that, how about a little closing motivation for you guys, a cherry on top of the proverbial podcast Sunday, if you will. The legendary college basketball coach Jim Valvano once said, "A full day should require three things." And I want you guys to all chase after these three things today. You should laugh, you should cry, and you should think. Laugh, have your emotions move to tears, and spend some time in thought today, my friends, and watch that become a full day. So thank you as always, my friends. Appreciate you on the opposite side of the screen. Appreciate you over there, my man. That's all I got.
Blessed, honored, and yes, we owe you here at the ECSI family and team for sneaking on before your show. So I can't even imagine that you're all fired up we got you lathered up for your show.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a nuclear power plant. I apologize to our viewers ahead of time. It's probably gonna be about 10 times more nonsensical than usual. I do apologize in advance.
We left the scroller going. Follow him at Colt TTL Sports at Talking the Line. He is the mid-major king. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want all the listeners, followers, to have a blessed day. And always, always wager and invest responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. There is an 800 number available. Ask for help. Why? Because myself and Colton want to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. Have a day. Enjoy yourself. Smile. It's free and untaxable. Remember that. See you soon.